I'm Michelle Lewis King, and I'm an artist and acupuncturist. My work bridges art, science, and anthropology in that I use a pre-modern medical diagnostic technique, Chinese pulse diagnosis, as a method for creating unique soundscapes from the pulses of audience participants. This video introduces Pulse Project, a project that is the result of both my doctoral research and my collaboration with Paul Uman, director and founder of 4D Sound, in order to create live spatial soundscapes of audiences' pulses for 4D Sound's show, Reflection from the Inner Mirror. I grew up with medicine in my life, and I think it's such a profound thing, medicine. The consultation, just the basic consultation with one person, this is like a profound question, like a philosophical idea. There's two people consulting over a question. In, say, even a clinical space, everything is dominated by looking. So that's what I mean, the autopsy, it like opens the body up and then everybody looks at it. So there's this distance implied, and it is to protect oneself from the threat of death. And there was some evidence of some other way that the body could be. And that's what I was very interested in. So the pulse for me does that. It's not just counting. We can count and I can say to you, you're hypertensive, you're not hypertensive, and you're healthy. But this gives me so much a richer picture of you, and it gives us a much more interesting conversation to have about being and time. But for me, I started to feel like my notes were like musical notes, or things, rhythms had some sort of musicality to it. So I thought I wanted to make a project out of that. Basically, each person has a tendency to be within a certain element, right? Like I said, each of the organs have an element. The lungs and the large intestine is metal. Stomach and spleen is earth. Triple burner and pericardium is kind of ministerial fire. It's a little bit it's fire, but it's also water. It's a very complicated, very esoteric. So sometimes people are definitively like earth or wood, but sometimes it's slightly a mixture for me. So I'm going to start with earth, right? So each of the other elements are on the pentatonic scale, but tuned from the beginning with the frequency that's appropriate for earth. Whereas if I say I chose metal, the person was metal, then it would be from the metal frequency and tuned upwards from that. Then I'll work with the metal, and the metal's low. And then I would think I'd have to bring that up because it's so low in a person, so I'd start to really bring that up. So this is distant, and then that's when it's quite loud. Now I can move this around, this sound. You can see now the pulse of the metal. It comes from the outside wall into the center of the room. It makes this sort of noise. And actually, like breathing, it comes from the outside to the inside and then out again. This is actually moving this metal thing all across the speakers in the system. So that makes this sort of movement of this sort of the lungs. It comes in, it goes vroom, vroom, like. So it's something that Paul and I worked on, and he's quite amazing the way he's made this interface. So. And fire, the same, quite low. So you can hear how it's like fire, it just goes vroom. Fire goes up the middle, like that, right up to the ceiling, literally all the speakers on the ceiling, from the floor up through the middle, and then it spreads across the ceiling like fire. And then water, which was quite, I think, quite good and strong with you. There's a slight pressure, So slight pressure, and it's a little faster than that. So right now we have all of them playing, and it's been just exploring what each of the lines are, but then it comes a point where you want to balance it. Yeah, so that's the thing, is that I mean, it's quite an amazing instrument, and it depends on all the different things that you bring together. And then you're having to balance the whole thing, because some of the tones don't actually, they're quite discordant with each other, because they're according to the texts of what actually vibrates those organs. So balancing that sonically is a bit of a challenge, but yeah, that's the instrument.